courting and he did ride. King Kong, kissy, kissy, cry me, oh, with a sword and a pistol by his side. King Kong, kissy, kissy, cry me, oh, crime all
I dare you to disappear.
way down yonder in a holler tree.
I dare you to disappear. I dare you to disappear.
Police now claim they've seen CCTV footage. He showed Elaine being approached by the driver of a late model Toyota.
Once upon a time, things made sense. My family made sense. And things seemed glued together and in their place. But then one night in July, everything changed.
August, what the hell are you doing? Let's go!
Where would you walk through to get this on your feet?
I was just at the park.
When he courting and he did ride. King Kong, kissy, kissy, cry me, oh, with a sword and a pistol by
You look like a little lamb that's wandered in from the coast.
on the floor. King Kong, kissy, kissy, cry me,
Out of all the specks of dust in the universe, we'd found each other.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Breeze, Breezeway Productions' The Breeze, where we bring you the latest in independent films and film festival official selections that are happening in the United States and around the world. And we're excited to kick off our coverage of this year's Austin Film Festival with a wonderful group of people here today. We have a director and a couple actors, and we're going to be talking about their film, Spaghetti Junction. We have director Kirby McClure, Jesse Gallegos, actor, and actor Cameron McHarg. How are you guys?
Hey, good. Thanks for having us.
Right on. Thanks for coming on the show. And Kirby, why don't you tell us a little bit about your film that's screening this year, Spaghetti Junction?
Yeah. So Spaghetti Junction is about a disabled teenager in the deep south of America who one night encounters a mysterious traveler who claims to have supernatural origins. So together they go on this journey of romance, but also healing, and then conflict with a strange cult who tries to consume them. So it's a kind of a coming of age psychological fantasy type of film with lots of twists and turns and trying to put you in the head of a disabled teenager in the deep south, really. So
wow, that sounds like a lot to soak in. And how did Jesse come into your world, and what role do you play, Jesse, in Spaghetti Junction?
Yeah, an audition came through, an indie film, Kirby's name on it, and something I really connected to. And originally, I think he liked the audition, and we ended up like meeting up before he actually cast me. I think that was kind of the moment he was like, oh, okay, this is the guy I kind of want. But I play Antonio in the film, and Antonio kind of ends up being one of the antagonists to the main girl, the young girl in this film. He's the boyfriend of her older sister. So I come up from the wrong side of the road. I'm into a lot of different trouble, getting into like dealing drugs and trying to make enough money to kind of get out of town. I really want to take Shiny, the older sister, away with me. And at the same time, I have this attraction to the main girl, the younger sister, and it starts getting a a little strange as the movie goes on, and you know, I deal with my own demons throughout it as well, and kind of make it hard for her to live.
Right on. Well, that also sounds like a very engaging role. And this is based in the South, and you said it has some dealings with cults. So I'm sure that it gets a little spicy with the people that you meet and the things that your character goes through. And you, Cam, tell us what about your character in this in the Spaghetti Junction.
My name's Dave Greenfield, and just Dad. I'm the dad. It's funny, I have to say real quick about Jesse. I haven't seen him since we were actually on the set a couple years ago, and he's such a sweet guy. Talking to him, it's like a completely different person. It's crazy. Like he's so good at it. And it's evident just by just listening.
Well, I had tattoos, like a snake and a skull.
Yeah, Jesse definitely went deep. I think, you know, when Jesse mentioned our first meeting at Starbucks, where we sort of started chatting about the role, and it was, you know, our first meeting after the audition, and he definitely came as the character from the film and sort of took me by surprise and sort of made me uncomfortable enough to know that he was exactly that sort of uncomfortable person that needed to be in the film.
I knew right away. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off track with your question. I just had to
you're good. You're good.
I knew right away. I was like, oh, well, this is obviously Antonio when I saw that guy. It's funny because we didn't really talk. You know, we were antagonistic, you know, in the movie, and it was just kind of like I was just like, you know, screw this guy. I didn't really want to talk to him, and he didn't really with me. So it's strange. It was like when it was over, we kind of hugged, and I didn't really see him again. So, but anyway, good to see you, Jesse.
You must have nailed that role if you were such a badass on set, and now you're just like, oh, you're not in character anymore. This is that he's
exactly,
down to earth dude.
And, you know, COVID happened, so it's like it's been, you know, a good 2 years since I've seen him, but or Kirby.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, so the dad is really meaning. He's he's got a good heart. He means really well, but he's struggling. He's just really struggling. He's really struggling. His wife, the mother of the two girls in the movie, was killed in the car. Well, these are spoilers, I guess. So.
No, I think it's okay.
It's good. It's good. If there's any embargo, we'll run after you guys screen. No worries. Say what you want.
Okay. So he's just really struggling hard. Emotionally, he's having a real tough time, and the drugs and alcohol are starting to rise up in his life a little bit, and it's becoming a little bit of a threatening thing, and it's kind of a subtle way, not an actual literal threat, but to August, to Cate, well, to both the girls, really, you know, kind of the elephant in the room kind of a thing. And I feel like August has to kind of walk on eggshells a little bit around her house and kind of create her own little better fantasy world. But is it real or fantasy? We don't really know.
I think that's true. I think both of the daughters are sort of dealing with their family troubles, and then one of the daughters also dealing with the fact that she lost a leg in this car accident that killed the mother of the family. So, you know, they both have their different forms of escape, and the older sister goes for Jesse's character Antonio, which is this guy like in a souped up car with neon lights who's vaping and blasting drum and bass, you know, and that's her escapism, is like doing drugs and hanging out with this kid. And then for Cate, who plays August, for her, you know, hers is a little bit more psychological, and her escapism comes through dreams and her imagination and almost like her rebellion against what she sees from her sister and her boyfriend. She's trying to create her own ideas of what romance can be. And for her, it ends up being this kid who's gone missing in the town. And when she sees a shooting star one night, she sort of starts piecing these things together in her imagination and in her dreams, where she imagines that this kid who's gone missing is actually possessed by this potential alien force who's come to our planet, and they end up having this sort of love affair.
Kirby, you know, you sound, the way when I hear you talk, you sound completely submerged in the content, like you have been with this movie for so long. I'm curious about the life of the project, because, you know, you said it's been a couple of years since you've seen each other. COVID did happen; it shut things down. What was the lifespan from, you know, conception to finished product, and now you're screening at Austin?
Yeah, so it's been about 4 years probably from the day that kind of the ideas started to coalesce onto, you know, a script. And then the casting process was probably the most kind of tedious, and the most important aspect was, you know, finding August, who's our lead. Because for me, it was important that the character was an actual amputee as opposed to, and when I first started talking to producers and agents and stuff, there was the opportunity to maybe cast, a name actor that we could bring on board that would help us get the funds to actually make this film, and, paint her leg out in post or whatever, some kind of visual effect. But for me, that was sort of, it wouldn't make the film worth making. It was kind of like a phony sort of, way of getting out of actually addressing something real. So for me, it was important for that authenticity, but then of course that authenticity sort of came back to bite me in the sense that it's difficult to find the perfect, it's difficult to find the perfect actor for a role anyway, but then also her having to be an amputee, added an extra level of sort of difficulty to it. But so basically I started reaching out to, children's hospitals, handicapped camps, like disabled camps, sort of prosthetic clinics, places all across Canada, the US, and even the UK, trying to find, this perfect girl. And actually that went on for about a year. And I was about to give up, actually. I was sort of just going to say, maybe I need to write something else that's easier to cast and kind of come to fruition. And then like on the last day, sort of as I was about to kind of hang my hat up, I got this submission in from Cate, and she sort of almost got me teary-eyed as soon as I saw it. And I immediately flew to New York and met with her to kind of, make sure that she was the one, and turns out she was. So
yeah, this is her feature film debut. What did she send to you to really, break through to you to say this is your girl?
There was a specific scene that I picked, and once you watch the film, and people will start to watch the film, they'll understand it. But there's this really kind of poignant scene where she's in a bowling alley watching her sister make out with Jesse here, Antonio, and kind of like I wanted to see the subtlety of what this girl would react to see her older sister kind of making out with someone, and kind of like, it's disgusting, but it's also potentially her future, because it's a coming of age story. So it's like her romantic flair and things are just starting to kind of awaken in her. She plays a 16-year-old girl, and her ideas of romance are just starting to bloom, potentially with, not in the right way, or not in different kinds of ways. She's questioning a lot of things in her life. And the only things she really sees around her is her sister and her boyfriend. So she's kind of watching them make out and asking them to basically go home. Like, she doesn't want to be there in this uncomfortable kind of situation. And she's trying to explain to them at the same time that she saw this meteor outside, like a streak of light in the sky. So it was sort of juggling a few different emotions of wonder, of like, I saw this meteor, but then also kind of being disgusted, but intrigued by a couple making out. So there was a lot of things to juggle. And then when I saw that she was able to balance all three of those sort of emotions at the same time and different flavors of it, I knew that she was the one, and that's when I just kind of got teary-eyed and said, oh shit, I think we're going to actually make this film.
There you go. Yeah. Wow. Jesse, also, did you feel like while you were working with her that she was able to pick up acting chops pretty quickly, since this is her first film? Or did she have any training before, or did you just hit the ground running?
From the moment, honestly, I think Kirby really set it up for her well, but I would have not have guessed that she hadn't had any acting experience at all. Her subtleties are so amazing. She was just so present the whole time. So it was amazing working with her. And on Kirby's, just to compliment him, he like created this, he rented out a place and then like renovated it, essentially like redecorated how he envisioned her home to be. And she lived in it for what, a month, 2 months?
Yeah, about a month before shooting. Yeah, that's the thing, is because she lives in New York City, and then I needed her to be this girl who could live. Yeah, of course. But I needed her to kind of adapt to being this girl who lived in the deep South, in this kind of industrial / rural area right outside of Atlanta, and Spaghetti Junction is the name of the neighborhood here. And, needing her to sort of adapt to this, just like Jesse said, I rented her this house, and she lived there with her mom for like a month before shooting, just to kind of get, engulfed in this world. And I took her to like the local diners and the grocery stores, and we took long walks and sort of talked about this place and sort of, put her into this world. So she even picked up a little bit of the local accent to try to, cover up her Queens accent a little bit with a little bit more of the, North Georgia kind of vibe.
Cool. That's a lot to say for an actor, just any actor to have that experience to go into something. So like I say, a lot of credit to her just coming to the table and really performing, but to Kirby as well, just being a director who wants to take people around and show the world. And he did the same thing with me too. He took all of us to a few of the locations to like walk around and talk about the characters and like get into it. So the whole time to like create
can I add some to that? When you said earlier, when you mentioned something to Kirby about him being really immersive in this thing, I was like, I was hoping that you can get into this a little bit, because he really was. He actually, this is a low budget movie, and he flew me out from Los Angeles to Georgia for this. He did it 2 weeks early for me, because I didn't live there, just so I can have a chance to kind of immerse myself in the area. And, you know, we'd spend some time, and, you know, Kirby would even kind of elbow me like, look at that guy, look at that guy. And I was like, you know, just to get it. But when he brought me to the house, which was my home too, I didn't literally live there like she did, but I spent a lot of time there. I knock on the door, and Cate answers it. Shit, I don't want to know if I can swear in this, but I'm gonna get kind of excited about things, so I'm trying not to.
It's all good. You're doing good.
Yeah, as soon as she answered the door, I was like, holy shit. She's you know, and Jesse said she's present when she was working. She's just a present person. She's a special person. And right when she opened the door, I was like, wow, I was excited. I was just really looking forward to see what she did. And when I saw the screener of this thing, a private little screener that Kirby showed, I mean, I'm so proud of her. I just, my heart is full with pride of her and everybody in there, but she was really something special.
Yeah, I can hear from all of your praise regarding her performance that she really nailed it, and that audiences should be able to go and check out Spaghetti Junction, which is screening this year at the Austin Film Festival. Gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for joining me today to talk about your film. And in closing, is there anything you'd like to say to the Austin Film Festival for the official selection this year?
No, thanks for having us. And yeah, come check out the film Saturday night, 10 p.m. at the Galaxy Highland Theater. You know, it'll see it on the big screen and surround sound, and sort of, yeah, come check it out, see what you think.
Awesome.
Agreed. Honored to be here. Looking forward to meeting you all. Hope you enjoy it.
Right on. It's going to be great. I hope everyone can check it out. And gentlemen, thank you for coming on to the show, and check out more coming to you from the Austin Film Festival on The Breeze. Breezeway Productions, The Breeze. Take care.